Are we live now?
We are live now.
Okay, cool. Hello, everyone. Now we are SubQuery team from Auckland, New Zealand. Welcome to our second community call. My name is Sam. Hopefully, you guys are all well and safe in this tough pandemic time. Time goes really fast. Another busy month almost passed. Christmas is really near the corner. We released our technical roadmap in our first community call 1 month ago. Our team is busy working towards the milestones. Things are progressing very well so far. In today's session, we will have James, Rob, Sally, and also Siqi, who looking after SubQuery Chinese region. So as we promised, that we will try to have this community call every month. So to keep everyone in our community updated with the progress of the project. So let me first talk about our team. So our team keeps growing. Over the past few weeks, we have over 5 new colleagues joining us, and we will have few more to join us in next few weeks as well. Since we launched SubQuery Academy in this month, we receive lots of interest from developers. Now, there are a few hundreds of SubQuery projects deployed into our hosted services in one single peak day. So our team is working hard to scale our infrastructure to handle such load. As promised, we will be, probably you all know, it's the first time ever Polkadot Parachain auction in this month is still going. So our service powers almost all the Parachain auction information website like Subways, Market Cap, Parallel Finance, Web3 Go, Talisman. Now James will share more Polkadot Parachain Crowdloan analysis later in this session. You will see some interesting metrics behind the scenes from the analysis. Let's move to the next slides, please. So this is our agenda for today. So in later this call, we will also announce the Parachain partner to launch SubQuery smart contract. You will get all the details about the decision why we made it. So stay in the call. We will be selecting winners for our giveaway from this call as well. Can you move to the next slide, please? Yeah. As per our roadmap, we are focused on 3 areas. Now, first is building our community. Second, improve the core products. Third is building SubQuery Network. So first, let's talk about building community. I will pass the slide to Sally.
Thanks, Sam. So I'll be talking about the community. The quality and growth of our community is an important pillar to SubQuery, and hence we have a number of initiatives that we would like to highlight during this call. Our Discord community has doubled since our last community call, and our Twitter is nearing 20K. We believe our community members have played an important part in this growth by spreading the news about SubQuery and also by creating amazing artworks, memes, and infographics for SubQuery. We would like to showcase some of those in the next slide. We can all see from this slide that we have many talented members in our community, and we would like to give a big thanks to you all for the various ways that you have contributed in growing our community. And as promised, we will be selecting winners for our giveaway from this call. If you would like to be in the draw to win SubQuery earphones, please write your Discord username in the comment section, and the winner will be picked from there, and it will be announced near the end of this call.
I think I mentioned this last time, Sally, but for the community, we look at these, all the content you guys do, and every meme or piece of art that you publish in Discord, often on a Friday, the whole team will get around and look through and look at the last week's worth of content. So trust me, we do look at this, and we really do enjoy seeing what you guys are creating. All these different artwork, memes, but also infographics.
Yeah, it's definitely like a highlight to our week. Next, I'll be talking about the Spartan Program. The Spartan Program is our new and transparent method to level up in our Discord channel to potentially become an ambassador. The submissions we have been receiving this month has been inspiring, and our ambassadors have been diligently going through every submission. Our November quest is closing soon on November the 30th, and our goal is to complete reviewing all the submissions in early December so that we can announce our first batch of Spartans on December the 3rd. For our SubQuery Academy, we have been very encouraged by the high participation rates. The SubQuery Academy is our free online course that is designed to get a developer from knowing nothing about SubQuery to deploying subqueries and building a simple front-end app that interacts with a SubQuery project. We have had over 2,500 enrollments, and we are looking forward to how the students of this academy will use their knowledge in the future. In light of this success, we wanted to share the content of this course with a wider audience. Therefore, we have begun the works for delivering this course in Chinese. You can find out more from SubQuery's China representative, Siqi.
I think Siqi might be struggling to join, so we'll just cover for her. Unfortunately, in China, the firewall makes it difficult to join things like Crowdcast sometimes. So don't worry, she'll join in the future, I'm sure, one day. But essentially, we're partnered with a team called One Block Plus, who are one of the largest education groups in China, focused on blockchain. They're one of the original Polkadot hackathons they ran and all the learning content over there. We're partnered with them to take our academy that's had over 2,000 people sign up to it already, and to deliver it into China entirely over WeChat and in Chinese, obviously. That will launch on the 10th of January 2022, so next year, which is really exciting for us. It's a huge market in China. A lot of our customers are from China, and so taking our existing academy that's been very successful so far and putting into China is going to be a huge improvement to our academy. So the big question, I guess, for everyone else, though, is what's next after Chinese, after taking our SubQuery Academy to China. What region should we go to next? Let us know if you know us, if you know a group that can help us here, or if you know other ways that we can translate our content into a different language and deliver it to people in a different side of the world. I'll just invite Robert back on. Robert will follow on and talk to us about the Gitcoin Hackathon. Hey, Rob.
Good evening, everyone. Thanks again for joining us. Great to have you here. I'm sure it's the morning for a lot of you, but yeah, thanks again for joining us. As James said, we've recently done this program in China, but one of the most exciting things we've got coming up is a partnership with Gitcoin. So we'll be having the hackathon from the 1st to the 16th of December. And this is really for either experienced developers or people who have finished or partly finished the SubQuery Academy. It's an amazing opportunity where you can put your skills to the test and get paid by earning bounties. The bounties listed here cover lots of awesome opportunities from areas such as DeFi to staking to NFTs, and even helping us expand to another layer 1 chain like Solana, for instance. One of the most
huge bounties, aren't they, Rob?
Yeah.
Over $24,000.
Yeah, so the information for this is on our Twitter and Medium, but please reach out on Discord as well. One of the most exciting parts of this, however, is that not only are you building these applications, but also we have partnerships with all of the leading teams within Polkadot. So DeFi with Karura and Acala, and Moonbeam, who most of you will know, and also NFTs with RMRK. So lots of really neat stuff there. If it sounds like you, please sign up.
And it's perfect timing after our academy. Right after our academy finishes and you guys learn how to use SubQuery to build these amazing things, you can go straight from the academy into the Gitcoin Hackathon, put what you've learned into practice, and have the opportunity to earn up to some huge bounties out there. So yeah, really take what you've learned and apply it to the real world.
Yeah, exactly. And staying on this theme of hackathons, we recently concluded one with Encode Club, focused on Polkadot, with our friends at Acala. And we've just announced the winners in the last 24 hours, actually, and I think we've got some examples of them here. So, James, do you want to explain these a little bit?
So this one was based on the Builder DApp challenge. You can see it online now, actually, polkadot.xyz. They're aiming to become a core explorer to all the Polkadot parachains. You can see a simple example of wallet transactions of a certain holding on Karura. But that's live now. That was a quick hackathon achiever, and they won their challenge. The other one was a builder dashboard, and you can see here this dashboard, didn't name it unfortunately, didn't give it a good brand name, but it's a really cool dashboard. It's got all these amazing charts showing staking yields, the DEX on Karura, vaults, loans, all the goals and everything else on Karura, and they're put into this really intuitive dashboard that looks really amazing. And they're also going to productize this. So all these different hackathon projects, you always find they become the real world projects out there next that you'll next hear about, right? So if you haven't already, get involved in a hackathon, because you could be building the next best dApp on Polkadot.
Awesome. And if you've been following the recent Polkadot Crowdloans, I'm sure you've been finding them fascinating. One thing you may not be aware of is that a lot of the insights and data that comes from the leading websites in the space like .marketcap, Subviz, and so on, that information is coming directly from SubQuery. So we're powering a lot of these insights. And on that topic, you may have seen on our Twitter and Medium yesterday, James pulled together some really, really interesting stuff on the battle between Acala and Moonbeam for that first Polkadot slot. If you haven't read it, check it out. It's got some really interesting stuff on how the loan process played out. And we'll continue to deliver a lot of these insights as we go forward. So I'll pass it back to James, but just again to reinforce that we'd love to have your feedback, any channel, if there's things we can do to improve the community or other ideas that you have, we're always willing to hear. So please, stay engaged, and look forward to chatting soon.
Yeah, thanks, Robert. So we've finished the community growth side of our three main parts today. What we're going to go now to is obviously improving the core product. This is the second of our big three focus areas that we've always talked about, and you'll keep seeing us using these three different areas because these are the three main important parts for us. So improving the core product, what have we done over the past month? Well, a lot of small things, but together they add up to a large amount. Firstly, we completed and delivered that Moonbeam EVM support that we announced last month. I know we're talking to you this time last month. It feels like it was only like a week ago, to be honest. Time has flown by so fast, but we have delivered the Moonbeam EVM support. We're talking to teams in Moonbeam already about them using it to index their data for their applications. It's getting a lot of interest over there. And we're also doing an event on the 1st of December. I think it's the 1st of December or the 2nd of December, with the Moon Builders Workshop. So if you're inclined to learn more about Moonbeam and how the Moonbeam application ecosystem works, one of our developers, Scott, is joining the Moon Builders Workshop and showing off exactly how to build a SubQuery project within the Moonbeam and Moonriver EVM. Additionally, we've just released tonight Russian documentation, all of SubQuery Network's documentation, how to build a project, how to deploy that. All of that is now online in Russian. Some of it's been, most of it's been translated. I think there's a few more pages to go, but effectively, if you're a Russian-speaking developer wanting to learn about SubQuery, the Russian documentation is live. And you can use a little language picker at the top right of the website to figure out how to change your language. Maybe this could be the next big academy that we do with Russian. We have a huge Russian community, so maybe there's something there. We also support enums. If you're a developer, you know what enums are, but they basically allow you to say a certain set of items that you can, a value can be. I guess it's really technical, so I'll leave it there. Significant stability and performance improvements. This is always important for us at SubQuery. We aim to be the most scalable, the most reliable, but the fastest indexer out there. And so we're doing a lot of work to make our service faster and more stable, especially in the hosted service. Because you guys, with the SubQuery Academy last month, you really pushed our hosted service to the limit. We had hundreds of projects being created each and every day, and our hosted service got pushed like never before, and we've been scaling it continuously since then. So thank you to the community for really pushing us to make our hosted service scale at least 10 times. So fun times. So that's the new features and improvements. Additionally, I just want to touch on that hosted service traffic. Last month, we had over 1,500 registered users and more than 3,000 projects deployed just in November so far, okay? So that's the numbers that we're talking about. And additionally, the Academy caused that surge of projects. So the final of the 3 areas that we're going to focus on today is the SubQuery network, obviously. Decentralized, incentivized, tokenized network. Remember, our ethos a long time has been taking this centralized tool that's in use by thousands of projects and many customers out there, and decentralizing that progressively over time. So what do we got to show you this week about the SubQuery network? Well, firstly, we're going to quickly talk about the progress we've made. We've done additional work on the indexer coordinator, client SDK. This is very technical stuff, but it takes us closer towards our first test network. We've also been working on our SubQuery Network Explorer app. We might show some screenshots of it next month, and that helps our team better test that. And when the testnet goes up, it'll allow you to also see what's happening inside the SubQuery network and identify potential indexes that you might want to delegate your tokens to earn some yield on the delegation. And the progress now is starting to move faster. We're starting to really accelerate the development of the SubQuery network. We also want to talk about the Parachain launch partner. Now, we've been asked this a lot of times, and we've always said the same thing, right? Our initial plan is to partner with a leading and top Polkadot Parachain, okay? And we're going to launch the SubQuery network as a smart contract on that initially to get that out to market faster and scale quicker. And then in the long term, our goal is to shift it towards our own Parachain. But that's a longer term. We want to start with an existing Parachain partner and then over time migrate that to our own chain. Okay, it gets us to market faster, it allows us to focus on the SubQuery network and not worry about the whole crowdloan stuff and auctions, and start decentralizing our network faster. So, big question in everyone's mind is, who are we going to obviously launch the SubQuery network with? And so today, we are going to announce that, of course, we're going for Khala. We're very pleased to partner with Acala to launch the SubQuery network on Acala's Polkadot Parachain. This is really big for us. And essentially, it comes down to 3 reasons, or 3 main reasons that we decided on going for Khala. And I'll tell you about this today because it's quite interesting. So the first one is community access. Essentially, Acala is building EVM+. They're calling it the EVM+, which is an Ethereum virtual machine with more on it. And essentially what that means is it means that we can focus on community first. Both developers building SubQuery projects, but also investors that want to be part of that decentralized data revolution. So by launching on an EVM-compatible chain, which Acala will be, our token generation event will seamlessly allow participation from investors from both the DOT side, but also the Ethereum ecosystem. You can use your tools like MetaMask and many other things to bring your money over into Acala to invest and to participate in the SubQuery network. The second one is domain and technical expertise and excellence. Acala is known across the world for their technical experience in the Polkadot ecosystem, They have done the most contributions by far from any other team apart from Parity itself onto Polkadot. And of course, they've won the first auction. They're the biggest team out there. They're the only team right now that has a slot on Polkadot. So we're going to work very closely with the core Acala development team to help deploy the first version of the SubQuery network as a smart contract within the EVM+. We expect that we're going to be pushing Acala to the limit. The SubQuery network is going to be hot, it's going to be massive, and so we're really looking forward to working closely with the team at Acala to really scale their network. And then finally, the final reason is our existing relationship with Acala. We've been working with Acala for a long time. As you can see, some of our first announcements, our partnerships announcements with SubQuery was with Acala. We've done hackathons with Acala. We're doing more hackathons for Khala. We're very close to the team there, and they use us a lot in their DeFi applications. Their own customers use us a lot in their DeFi applications. They use us in their DEX, and their DeFi app or DApp. Basically, we're very close to Acala because we've been working with them so long. So we have a really good relationship with them, and that's something we're going to leverage going into launching this SubQuery network. I might bring on Sam here just to bring any comments that he wants to make about this. Let me find Sam quickly. But yeah, in summary, essentially, Acala and SubQuery, we share a common vision to grow the Polkadot ecosystem together and help the team move towards a decentralized future. So it's a natural fit for us. Sam, are there any comments you want to make about the partnership for Acala here?
Yeah, so I think you're writing, comments quite a lot. Like, the first is really community access. Acala has the biggest Polkadot community so far, right? So it's gonna, it's a really, really great, partnership for SubQuery. Actually for both, right? Because we're gonna be the first, like a tokenized project, to deploy into Acala. Gonna be both one. Then, of course, we're working very, very closely at the very, very earlier days with the Acala core team, other, core team developer from Acala, they are our friends. So we know each other very well. So, technically, so we are super confident with Acala team, of course, with ourselves as well. So it's going to be a super cool partnership in terms of a, technical and, community build. So, yeah, really.
I think it's going to be really interesting, the EVM Plus, how it allows, investors, I get asked this a lot, right? How do we help investors come into this ecosystem, right? And with Acala's EVM Plus, it means that you can link your Ethereum address to a Khala address. You can seamlessly transfer that with Acala's decentralized exchange. And basically, really easily, without going through any centralized exchange, you can get your ETH or whatever other bridge chains they're working on. I know they're working on a Bitcoin one as well. You can bring into the ecosystem and you can participate in SubQuery a lot easier than otherwise if we went with other teams. So that's huge for us.
Yeah, exactly. But not only that, but also Acala has its own native runtime, DEX runtime module, which means once our SubQuery token lives in Acala ecosystem, we can take advantage of their, existing native DEX. So they can be super cool as well.
Exactly right. So just to finish off, I guess, in this section, we want to go back to the roadmap, right? Because, we talked about this last month. We spent a long time going through this roadmap. It's a very detailed roadmap, but we just want to summarize where we're at. Remember, Milestone 3 has a token generation event. That's end of Q1 next year. We're aiming to launch our main network in Milestone 5, Q2 2022. We're still aiming, and we're still rushing ahead to launch our test net, probably mid to late Q1 2022, and invite people into that. I just want to zoom in on where we are right now, because obviously that's quite important. So now we've done the EVM support. We've launched the SubQuery Academy. We're working on proof of indexing. And behind the scenes, we have done a lot of work for our premium enterprise service. You remember our hosted service has a lot of big customers on it, big wallets, DeFi apps, explorers. and they have demanded a higher level of service, and we're working to meet that for a premium enterprise service. Milestone 2, we're doing a lot of work on our Builders and Grants program. You can expect to hear about that in the next community call. And we're doing a lot of work on our internal contract implementation. So there's a huge amount of effort going on this, and currently I think we're a little bit ahead of schedule. So we'll keep going, and we'll keep pushing hard for you guys out there.
Yeah, it's probably one of the, can you go back again?
Yeah, sure.
Like, the milestone 3, we put scalable intelligence routing. This is highly likely, as James mentioned, we're a little bit ahead of, the progressing. Probably going to move to it's going to be happen definitely going to very soon, sooner than the end of Q1. So that's going to be really, really cool, because a lot of enterprise customer, is actually looking for such services, right? Because once we implemented the intelligent routing, which means, we're gonna, our customers no longer need to worry about, single point of failure. That's what I'm talking about. That's our hosted services. Of course, at the meantime, we're still busy to building our decentralized SubQuery network. But the hosted services is still quite important. That's where we're generating more traffic. There's a lot of our existing customer actually fully rely on our hosted services. For example, probably you guys know some of them like Surveys, right? Even though market cap, their backend is fully powered by SubQuery hosted services. Also, another one typical example is Parallel Finance. Parallel Finance over last couple of weeks time, they, in their platform, I think they contribute almost 500 million, a total value to the Parachain Crowdloan. So
I think there are 11% of all DOT was contributed through Parallel Finance, if I remember correctly. If not, go look at my article I wrote. It's in the bottom there. I wrote. It's a ridiculous amount of money.
Yeah, but what I'm saying is, if you, whoever, contribute DOT through, Parallel Finance, the UI or front end, actually, all the data is powered by, by SubQuery hosted services. Probably, we're working behind the scenes.
Yeah, no, definitely right. And one thing with the host intelligent routing, I guess, the community, you guys all listening on this and people writing projects, we can thank you for bringing that forward, because the huge surge in traffic and in usage of our hosted service, driven partly by the Academy, but also by the Polkadot Crowdloans, has made us kind of prioritize a bit more, because it's really scaling, and the number of requests that we're doing is increasing significantly.
Yeah, exactly. I think one of the peak day from my memory, is roughly around 20 million requests per single day, for SubQuery hosted services. This relatively quite big amount of number. But keep in mind, so at this stage we don't have a lot of real high traffic D app at this stage. Of course, Crowdloan, like Parallel Finance is one of the high traffic D app, plus the Crowdloan information website like Subways. But however, compared with the other DeFi D app, is quite small, right? So we do believe once those DeFi protocols or DeFi D apps have more DeFi D apps in Acala or Moonbeam or whatever ecosystem, so that traffic gonna keeps going up and up. Our goal is really to achieve, let's say, 1 billion requests per day. So that's let's see how long it's gonna take.
Be quick soon, because Polkadot's only just taking off, right? And we're here, we're ready to go. We've got everyone on board, and as soon as Polkadot, the rocket takes off, SubQuery is taking off with it. So hold tight for the ride, I guess.
Sure.
So one thing we want to mention at the end is, so as we said here in our roadmap, we're starting to look at our test network, and we're starting to put the pieces in place. So one step for us is requesting people out there in the community to apply with your expression of interest to become an indexer on our incentivized test network. We'll put a form out in the first week of December that will ask a few things, but we're asking for applications for people to apply to become an indexer, to run a node in our decentralized test network. and to be a part of the SubQuery network and the decentralization of it. So basically, look out for this. Make sure you let anyone else that you know that is quite onto it with running nodes and is technically smart and wants to be involved in the next big thing. And they should apply. They should get in there and apply.
Yeah,
See that form come out.
Exact indexer basically is our participants in our ecosystem. Of course, it's one. Whoever running the indexer will be fully incentivized. At this stage we cannot. Because we are working hard with the tokenomics, but we're gonna release our tokenomics very soon. Tokenomics very soon. That means you will calculate how much reward you will get by running an indexer. So anyway, indexers is really very, very important, sort of like a role in our decentralized network. So guys, whoever interested, please talk to us.
I might have to refresh this actually because funny enough, when you run a slideshow, it doesn't actually update the slides when someone changes it. So Sally has now added our giveaway winners. If your name is there, congratulations, you've won some AirPods. Sally will be in contact with you on Discord. Congratulations for winning. Unfortunately, with global shipping, it's taking a while to get these people, but they are in the mail, trust me. And you'll get your AirPods soon. Your SubQuery branded AirPods.
Actually, I just show you guys what AirPod looks like. So that's the one. That's the gift. It has a SubQuery logo in it. So it looks pretty cool.
They sound pretty good too.
Yeah, congratulations to the winners.
To Sage, to Artong D, and to Alex Carr. Congratulations. So, in summary today, we've talked about the Spartan Program. We've talked about the SubQuery Academy and how we're going to take it to China. We've talked about hackathons through Gitcoin, but also for the ones that are run with Encode Club. We've talked about our Crowdloan Insights, how SubQuery was powering all the Crowdloan websites, and we've been able to take all that data away and analyze it and give you guys some really interesting insights into what's going on into that first auction. If you haven't read that article, go and find it and read it now. We then shifted to our core product, so the new features and improvements, scaling, Moonbeam, and other improvements we're going to do. And there'll be a lot next month around this. And then finally, building the SubQuery Network, announcing our Parachain launch partner for Khala, recapping our roadmap to see where we are, and finally talking about indexes and how we're going to welcome expression of interest into it very shortly. So I believe that's what's coming, of course. As we mentioned, index and expression of interest. We'll see the format first week of December. Tokenomics, Sam, we're going to go really quick soon on this, aren't we? We're putting the final touches on this now.
All right, since probably you put there, probably we can talk a little bit in very high level. So what we're gonna do is, we almost finalized our tokenomics. By saying tokenomics, it's not just token distribution or token vesting. It's actually a whole bunch of, mathematics, economy. This is so actually shown in our teams working hard to driving it, to make it happen. So we're gonna release our tokenomics very soon. So in terms of the token distribution or vesting plan, so at this stage, probably you guys know we actually did 2 rounds of a fundraising. We got the seed round and the second round. Then it's very likely we're gonna do another, we call it token generating events. Is likely probably next March around, or we'll see if we can make it earlier. But at this stage, we scheduled as a next March, roughly around that time. So in terms of the vesting plan and sort of allocations, in the seed round, we actually have a 12% allocation to our seed round investor. Then we have a roughly around 15% allocation to our second round investor. So for seed round investor, we're gonna have a lockup period. So for second round investor, we also have some lockup period as well. So currently, we're gonna release all the details very soon. Okay.
But there will be a token generation event, and there will be an opportunity for the community to participate in that, right, Sam?
Yeah, Yeah, of course, definitely. That's the whole point, right? We want to get more like a community to participate. Because we build decentralized network, right? We want more like community to own the project. It's very important. Eventually, our goal is go to DAO. So that means the community eventually gonna drive in the direction of the project, right? That's the hopefully it won't take that long.
Yeah, and I think it's very important when we launched that SubQuery network that the SubQuery token is spread as wide as possible. There's many holders of it. Everyone will have a chance to get in there and participate. So that's really important to us, that it's not held by a few elite people. It is held by as many people in the community as possible. And look out for that soon. And again, builders in the grants program, I promise you, we'll have that very shortly. And this one will be big. But you can see some example grants already. You can kind of see what we're talking about. If you look at the Gitcoin grants that we're going to do, the hackathon there, you get an idea of the type of grants that we're working with our partners to bring into place. For example, creating a dashboard that indexes both EVM and substrate data into a scanner for Moonbeam and Astar. That's one of our biggest hackathon grants. Because both Moonbeam and Astar are contributing to that, and all three of us are kind of partnering on that. So it gives you an idea of how SubQuery works with these other projects to make all these things a lot better and a lot bigger.
Exactly, guys. You might have chance to get a double grants. So which means, when you're working for such a project, right, basically you're gonna using a SubQuery. Also, you're gonna using, you're gonna building the debt in the, our partner like ecosystem, like Moonbeam or Astar or Acala. They are happy, to grant such as well. So that means, this is really, really great opportunities, for you guys, to whoever interested, to building such such apps, right? So once you have the project, you got some chance, to commercialize the product as well, because we are more than happy to support, the good team and a good project.
And you find that, right? Like with the Enco Club hackathons, when I showed you earlier before, there's 2 projects. They're going to be commercializing their package, their project. And they're going to be making websites of those. And they could be the next big application in the ecosystem. So don't miss out right now. Now is the chance where the next big application will be made. Will it be you? You just got to get stuck in and have a go.
Yeah, it's an exciting time.
It's an exciting time. So Sam, should we do a few questions before we're kind of a bit quick or a bit early today? So should we do a few questions?
Let's find out a few questions. Okay, it's quite a few questions.
Yeah, the first one at the top here is, when will the TGE sale take place? Who gets to buy early? The project is not intended to be about the metaverse. It's more about data. It could power a metaverse. It could power a NFT marketplace. It could power DeFi. It works with all of these new things. Yeah. But as Sam mentioned on a roadmap, the TGE is I think, if I remember,
next March.
March time next year. So
that's roughly around that timeline. We might take it earlier, but it depends, because right now one of the big tasks for us is really building community, right? If you look at our community, followers, it's all organic followers. It's currently like a Twitter, we have roughly around 18,000, I believe. So our goal is to build as many as we can before the TGE, right? So yeah.
Next one is about what were the next top, I'm guessing you're asking about the layer 1 chains that we're going to support, saying Solana.
It seems like people like Solanas, right? So actually what we do is we cannot just simply jump to another ecosystem, right? Or do Cardano or Solana or whatever it is. So what we do right now is internally we have an internal research and a development team. So what we do is we need to investigate, what the other layer 1 chain is best to fit our, architecture and fit our platform. So that's something we are working on it. I think probably we will share the information very, very soon to community. So which next, a layer 1 chain we're gonna support.
And it might not be, it might be Solana, it might be Cardano, it might be Algorand, it might be Avalanche, it might be Terra.
So maybe, you know, if you guys are interested, probably leave your, you know, your voting or whatever into the chat or our Discord. Then based on, you know, community feedbacks, then we can probably, you know, to consider as a factor, right?
What you might notice, if you go to our Gitcoin Hackathon, you'll find one of the last ones is to expand SubQuery to another layer on chain. It's the biggest prize there. And basically, if you can do that, you have a job with SubQuery.
Okay. Yeah, I guarantee it. You know, you will get a job in SubQuery. You know, you know what? You don't have to do one. If you are, you know, super smart and clever, you know this space. Probably you can do two layer 2 chain at the same time, like, you know, Solana or Algorand or whatever.
We've designed SubQuery to work with multiple chains, right? There are multiple chains in Polkadot, so essentially it shouldn't be that difficult. But someone needs to do it, so we're working that soon.
Yeah, exactly. Oh, since we in this topic, let's, you know, expand a little bit more, like, you know, with our current infrastructure. Like, probably, you know, you guys already know we have a, you know, hosted services. Then, you know, the way how we architect our hosted services is really robust solution, which means, you know, we can relatively easier, you know, bring another indexer running into our hosted services, even it's not, you know, SubQuery indexer or SubQuery, you know, project. So we can relatively, you know, easier to integrate it, you know, into our hosted services, because as I said, the way how we architect the platform is super robust and scalable, right? That's our hosted services. Then our decentralized network, let's say SubQuery Network. So basically, you know, we encourage not only, you know, eventually once our network is ready, like SubQuery Network is ready, you know, the indexer who participate in our SubQuery Network not only can run SubQuery, you know, indexer. Hopefully, we're gonna support other, you know, ecosystem indexer as well, you know, back to the time. So that's really gonna be really, really cool. We are, you know, we are looking at the possibilities as well.
Are there any other questions that you want to answer, Sam? I think a lot of them, there are, for example, you can find the information on our website, on our blogs. So for example, do we have a token? At the top of our Medium, you'll find an article that goes into exactly how our token is used in the ecosystem, what the burning situation is, how you can earn passive income from delegation. Go and have a look at it on our website.
Yeah. We have our white paper in our website, right? So it has all the details. Of course, we are still improving the white paper.
One big question is, what is the difference between the graph and SubQuery?
Right.
Essentially,
this milling, I think it seems like everyone, you know, every time asks such question. I will leave it to you, James.
Yeah, I've had to answer this a lot. Okay, so essentially, firstly, obviously the graph is focused on Ethereum. SubQuery is focused on Polkadot. Obviously, Polkadot's a lot newer, and so is SubQuery. We are entirely focused on Polkadot as our home. And Polkadot's quite different from the graph, right? The Ethereum EVM written with Solidity is quite different from how Substrate is written. So different needs there. In terms of tokenomics and our token economic model, we have done a few differences to really simplify the economic model. We believe that the graph's economic model can be simplified. It's a bit complex. And essentially, we're trying to go for a lighter weight, more simple way to predict your rewards and to bring that into effect. So in short, really, it is the focus on Polkadot. It's a different, more simple economic model. And the third and final thing is we removed curators. In SubQuery, we don't have any curators. We use something different, which is more concrete in our view. It's called a fixed price purchase order. And it's a way to say, I want to buy some data. Someone please index that. So it replaces the curators in a way. Again, have a look at our white paper. We go into a summary of our competitive advantages on our Medium, or you can go to our blog and you can get in any language that you want.
Yeah. So a lot of people ask, is SubQuery competing with the graph? Actually, not, because we are, Polkadot native. The graph is Ethereum native, right? It's hugely different. Even the graph jumped into the Polkadot ecosystem. It's still good. If you look at Ethereum right now, so I think it's more than like a 20 like Oracle ecosystem or Oracle protocol all existed. They're all doing good, right? So this in this space we didn't see any competition because it's a growing market. The market is huge enough to have some similar project or similar platform coexisting. Right, we are working in the Web3 stage. Let's take Web2 stage. If you look at all the clouding providers, AWS or GCP or Azure, are they competing? Sort of, but are they all growing, right?
Yeah, and they all have their own different niches. And there's so much data out there, right? Like Web 2 is built on data. Web 3 will probably be no different. So there's plenty of opportunities for different players in this market. It's not a winner takes it all in any way. There's no winner takes all. There will be winners, but there will be many winners because the amount of data is huge. Humanity doubles the amount of data it creates every 2 years. I saw that statistic somewhere online, so I hope it's true. But essentially, there's a lot of data to be indexed, so there'll be a lot of providers doing that and doing it in slightly different ways for different customers.
Yeah, true. But you are right. I think it's every 2 years, but even faster, I believe.
There's a question here. Are there any partnerships that we don't know about yet? Actually, there's quite a few, and the way that SubQuery hosted service works is that anyone can create a project on it. We don't necessarily have to talk to them and know about them, so we keep an eye out for new projects, but it's open. Anyone can take it and run with it and use it as they want. There are a few, and we'll be doing more partnerships announcements in December. We're lining up a series of interviews with different partners. But if you want to check out what our partners is like, just have a read through our blog, and we generally do announcements with them. Or scroll through our Explorer and look at the hundreds of projects in there. We'll be doing more to improve the UX there soon.
Yes, true. Yeah, as James said, even some of the project they working on SubQuery quietly because our SubQuery project right now is free, so everyone can work on it, can deploy SubQuery project into the hosted services, right? From time to time, we always surprised to see, that project is working on working on SubQuery. So it's good, right? I do believe we're gonna have more and more the Polkadot ecosystem project gonna working with us. At this stage, I would say all the top Polkadot projects, all our partners, all working with us closely on the SubQuery project. Let's move to next, James.
Yeah. I'm just looking for some interesting ones.
What about the rewards for earlier birds, special places to token sale community? Thanks. Right, good question. So for earlier birds, just stay with our community. So what are we gonna do is probably in the next when we do our a TGE, right? Probably we're gonna have a different tiers about our probably participants or community. So just keep Spartan programs is it's a typical example, right? So just stay with in our channel. We're gonna share more information very soon.
I think it's natural that we want to reward participants early on. I think that's natural.
Yeah, exactly. That makes sense for us as well.
Can you tell us a bit about one or two project examples using SubQuery? And what exact business technical problems does SubQuery solve? So, okay, well, here's a first example that we talked about a lot today. A team called Subviz or .marketcap or Talisman. Those are 3 websites that are showing data on crowdloans. So showing you exactly the numbers of how much DOT is or KSM is contributed to each crowdloan, and therefore who's winning the auction. Is it Acala or Moonbeam? Because it changed a lot during that last auction. So how does SubQuery help them? Essentially, SubQuery takes all this data from the blockchain It simplifies it down, it adds it all up, and it gives it off to all of these websites so that they can show it into their website. It's as simple as that. Basically, we take a huge amount of data from blockchain, we simplify it, we transform it, and we make it into a format that it can be queried using a website, and they can then show that in their applications. So that's a perfect example that's really topical right now, is the Crowdloan stuff. Other ones are like, there's a lot of DeFi applications using us. They want to calculate APY rates or other yield measures over time, and they use historic data on the chain to calculate that. Very simple.
I think another example of partners I can think about it is that, I think back to a couple of months ago when doing a Kusama Parachain auction, I think probably everyone knows CoinMarketCap. Actually, they approach us. I'm pretty sure they are still using us. I'm not quite sure for the, at this stage for the Polkadot auction, Parachain auction, they using it or not. But the Kusama Parachain auction data definitely, is powered by SubQuery, because at that time they approach us, they specifically told us they're using our SubQuery data. That's really, I think everyone knows CoinMarketCap, right? That's big.
Yeah, and I think the last example I'll give you, right, and this is a summary, right, so there's a lot of different examples or use cases of SubQuery that even we haven't thought up of yet, is NFTs. There are a couple of teams in the Polkadot NFT space that are using SubQuery to show a web page of all the NFTs that have been minted, who's bought them and sold them, what are the transfers that have taken place. Perfect example of how SubQuery provides data for those websites, like Polkadot, for example. Polkadot's a really good one.
Yeah, Polkadot. Also, big country. We're working closely with the big country team as well. They are building some SubQuery as well.
Dimitri, you got a good question here around, everyone talks about the benefits of the project, but in our opinion, are there any weaknesses or drawbacks at the moment? And do we have a plan to eliminate them? Well, I guess one of the biggest weaknesses right now is that it's centralized, and I guess the hosted service is centralized to one region. So that's what we're working on. This is why we keep talking about the intelligent routing. It means that we have multiple SubQuery hosted services running independently around the world, and if one goes down, we can immediately fall over to another one. So that's one of our main weaknesses right now for SubQuery hosted service, and we've been trying to scale that to match all the interest that we've had recently. But we've got a lot of work we're doing to reduce and eliminate that risk and improve our performance by having multiple SubQuery hosted services around the world, indexing data and providing that to all the people around them.
Yeah, so by saying that, because currently we're using AWS as our cloud provider, not just simply AWS, we also have a GCP. So by saying, intelligent routing, which means even the whole, AWS going down or GCP going down, we still have a, cluster in AWS. So that means, gonna give our customer really good confidence to using the services we provided. That's really gonna be really, really cool.
I think that's probably enough. Should we call it quits here and then follow up any other questions on Discord, Sam?
Oh yeah, sure. Okay. So yeah, feel free to drop questions in Discord channel. So we're more than happy to answer it. Also,
yeah.
We are our team is still growing. Whoever interested to building SubQuery, feel free to send your CV to us.
Well, an easy way to get started is go on and do one of those Gitcoin hackathons. That's launching very soon, and deliver that, and that's a perfect kind of reference or CV. But we're always looking to hire new people. So if you're interested in joining us, if you're interested in building, if you're a developer that's an expert in either Substrate or Solidity or any other languages used by the chains, reach out to us. And apply, because we're growing the team really quickly.
Yeah, sure. Or hopefully,
right.
probably you noticed James Bailey just had a haircut. So what happens, New Zealand, we are based in New Zealand, Auckland. We're still in lockdown. So we have been locked down, in past 100 days now. So lucky, today the hairdresser is open now. So James has a haircut today. So I
got a fresh haircut for all you guys listening today.
Okay, so what happened was, hopefully, because the New Zealand border is still closed, so we cannot travel to anywhere in the world. So hopefully, once our border is open, we can travel around the world to meet you guys in person. So
we'll be coming soon, I think.
yeah, hopefully, as the whole global, pandemic things, you don't know when gonna be over. You never know, man. So let's bless.
Wherever everyone is, stay safe, look after your family, and it was a pleasure talking to you all today on this call. And look forward to seeing you guys in December. I don't know if we've set the date yet, but it'll probably be before Christmas. Obviously, we don't want you looking or joining a SubQuery community call during Christmas. You should be with your family. You should be with your family during the holidays and enjoying spending time with them. So we'll see you next year, or next month, sorry, in December on the next call.
Yeah, probably next call during Christmas time. So I'm not quite sure yet. Is it before Christmas or after Christmas?
I think it'll be before Christmas, Sam.
Yeah. So all right, we'll see you next time.
All right, thanks everyone, and thank you for joining us today. Talk to us on Discord if you haven't already joined us. We'll carry on the conversation there.
Okay.
Bye.
Bye.